Hello there, and welcome to Daniel's Infinite Playlist. And today we're gonna review Swedish solo project Merle's third album, Hatching the Egg. And for those of you who don't know who Merle is, well, Merle is an artist. Her real name is Kristina Florell, and she's been in other acts such as Team Rocket, where she sings. Where she does singing, and the rest of the group does kind of like rapping and all of that, and production as well. And this album marks actually quite a big change towards her artistry, because not only has she changed her sound a bit, but she also changed labels from Sincerely Yours to the burgeoning Stockholm label Year 001, which is an amazing label that houses other artists such as Young Lean or Blady or Viagra Boys. However, we're now gonna talk about the album that Merle has produced. So listening to this album was mostly like this. Alright, so now we're gonna showcase the album art, since I don't have the physical version, because there's actually a vinyl available, but I haven't bought it. I have only bought the digital version. So I'm just gonna show you the album art, and it's actually really beautiful. It takes one back to all of those 4AD albums, and it looks, kind of like a cult, type of album that you just feel like is some kind of like a secret and all of that. And it's just so beautiful. I love it. I think it perfectly, emulates what the music is all about inside. So, now back to the actual review. So, musically, this album is very ethereal. It blends in different strands of dream pop and some electropop as well, and also like a tiny bit strand of trance and dance music. But the dance music element is very, very toned down here. I mean, there's only one song that actually uses it. And you might think that this album is actually very, scattered in its sounds, but it's actually very unified. And I think it's the over-the-top and dreamy production, which is, also Merle's production. She's the one that produced the whole album, and I think that's amazing. Anyways, I think that it's the production that actually just makes this whole thing just work together. And if you listen to this album first, you might think that the melodies and, the sounds, that they all kind of like blend together, so you don't really know which song is which and all of that. And I thought at first that this was kind of like a weakness of the album, but when I started to listen to it a bit more, consecutively, I started to see like all of these details, like beautiful instrumental flourishes and vocal melodies. If I didn't mention it before, Kristina Florell is actually a classically trained composer, and you can clearly see it in like both the production and the music. And I just love how ethereal and fairy tale like everything feels. You can also see like some clear influences from like Cocteau twins, especially in The Wizard's Eye, where they use kind of like some piano some piano sounds that remind me of Cocteau twins album The Moon and the Melodies with Harold Budd. But I don't think that she actually listened to the album. I just think that it's kind of like it. And also another comparison can be, like Enya, but I feel that's kind of like a lazy comparison to make, because she's clearly, very, very talented and has like her own sound. So yeah. Anyways, what I was going to say is that this album is also like the fruit of certain labels struggle that she had with her other label, which was Sincerely Yours. If you don't know what Sincerely Yours is, it's kind of like this famous Gothenburg label that has released music by JJ, CEO, and also Team Rocket's music. But anyways, there was some sort of struggle and she changed to the Stockholm-based Year 001 label, which is a really cool label, and it's also a really cool move. And you can see it also how that translates lyrically, which is more obsessed with incorporeal, you know, like dreams or nature or mythological pictures. And at first you can't really hear the lyrics quite well because there's so much going on, you know, like spacious in the music and also her singing. But then you start to see like all of these mythical sort of pictures that she paints, and you get actually quite invested, and you feel like you're kind of in between playing a Final Fantasy game but also reading a book from J.R.R. Tolkien. So yeah, what do I give this album? Well, I give it an 8 out of 10 because I really think it's a great album. It might not be an album for everyone, but I feel that its listenability and, you know, like its surprises are bountiful, and you feel that with every listen you discover something new. So I'm just looking forward to, you know, just keep on listening to this album. And right now I feel that it's a very strong album, and it actually is the best album that Merely has produced yet. I mean, I do love her debut album and also like her second album as well, but this one is quite in a universe of its own, and I really applaud her for making something so fiercely original such as this. So yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for listening to this review. As always, I'm going to put like the artist links down below. So yeah, come back for next Saturday, and where I review a classic album review. Be sure to look forward for that. And also, if this is your first video, don't forget to like and subscribe. That would make me really happy. Just kidding. I mean, yes, I mean, if you want to know more about other types of music, then please, you're so welcome. Anyways, that's it for today. Enjoy music, enjoy life, people. Hej då!